My thumb hovers over the red send button. 9 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting in my Ford F-250 with the engine idling, headlights off, invisible in the shadows of the Miller estate. Through the windshield, I can see them on the balcony, Preston and Genevieve, my parents, champagne glasses catching the light, their laughter carrying across the manicured lawn I used to mow for free. The phone screen glows, Project Oak Route. Execute eviction. My other hand grips the steering wheel so tight my knuckles have gone white. The truck smells like potting soil and diesel. Mud caked on the floor mats. I was going to save you, I whispered to the windshield. But then I heard what you said. 12 hours earlier, I was pruning a Japanese maple when Genevieve called. No hello, no how are you doing? Delilah. I need you to bring the juniper bonsai tonight. I paused mid-cut, phone wedged between my shoulder and ear. My greenhouse was humid, glass walls fogged with condensation. The gala's tonight? Obviously. 40 years of the Miller Art Gallery. We're expecting investors. A pause, then that tone I knew too well, condescending, patient. Like explaining arithmetic to a slow child. You owe us this much, Delilah. After everything. After everything. The words settled in my chest like stones. I looked at the bonsai. 5 years of careful cultivation. Competition winner. Valued at $8,000. The branches twisted just right, each needle placed by nature and my patience. It's not really appropriate for a centerpiece, I said. It needs specific conditions. Don't be difficult. We're cash poor right now and we need to impress the Vanderbilts. Bring the tree. 6 o'clock. She hung up before I could respond. I should have said no. Should have laughed and gone back to work. But I didn't. Instead, I stood there in my greenhouse, surrounded by 200 plants I'd grown from seeds and cuttings. Owner of a business that cleared 6 figures last year. And I felt 14 again. 14. When I'd given up the art scholarship so Merrick could attend private school. When Preston had patted my shoulder and said, "That's my girl. Family first." I'd never gotten another scholarship. Merrick got his architecture degree. The pattern, I'm always the helper. Never the helped. Maybe this time they'll see me, I whispered to the empty greenhouse. Then I wrapped the bonsai in protective cloth and loaded it into the truck bed. By 6:15, I was pulling up to the Miller estate. Not the main entrance, the service entrance. Around back, where the caterers parked. Merrick was waiting, leaning against the brick wall in designer shoes that probably cost more than my monthly insurance payment. He watched me park, then walked over and kicked dirt off my front tire. Stay out of sight tonight, he said. The adults are doing business. I'm 27. He's 30. But in his eyes, I wasn't an adult. I was the help. I carried the bonsai alone, 40 pounds of tree and ceramic pot, while Merrick watched, hands in his pockets. Through the main entrance, I could see the Vanderbilts arriving early. Old money recognizes desperate money. I saw it in the way they whispered to each other, the subtle eyebrow raise as Preston greeted them too loudly. Genevieve appeared at the service door as I carried the bonsai up the steps. She didn't offer to help. Didn't even hold the door. You're late, she said. And couldn't you have worn something presentable? I looked down at my work jeans, my flannel shirt. I'd come straight from a job site. I'm delivering a tree, Mother. Not attending your party. Her face tightened, but I didn't apologize. Small victory. Preston appeared behind her. He looked past me, eyes moving straight to the bonsai like I was invisible. This will do, he said, inspecting the branches. The Vanderbilts appreciate Eastern aesthetics. No thank you. No acknowledgement that I'd just given them an $8,000 centerpiece for free. Merrick followed us inside, smirking. At least she's useful for something. My hands trembled as I set the tree down on the main hall table. My family takes. They never give. I'm positioning the bonsai when I hear them. Preston's voice carries from the private viewing room. The door is cracked open. Microphone feedback squeals, then settles. Slide 14. Perfect. I freeze, hands still touching the branch. Merrick's voice answers, amplified. The visuals tell the story we need. Something in his tone makes my spine straighten. I should keep working, should leave through the service entrance like I'm supposed to. Instead, I move closer. Through the crack in the door, I see the projection screen glowing. Merrick stands there in a tailored suit, holding some crystal award. The caption reads, "The Visionary. Merrick Miller receives Architecture Excellence Award." Click. The next slide loads. It's me. Covered in pond muck, mud streaked across my face, kneeling beside a retention pond, mid-laugh. My work clothes are filthy. My hair is falling out of its tie. I look happy, completely unself-conscious. I remember when that photo was taken. Last spring. The Hendersons' backyard pond had clogged, and I'd spent 3 hours elbow-deep in algae. Mrs. Henderson had laughed at something I said and snapped the picture. Said I looked like I was having the time of my life. Preston's voice breaks the silence. His presentation voice. Rehearsed, polished. We'll tell the investors, this is why we don't let children play in the dirt. A pause for effect. It proves we have standards. Merrick laughs. Should we mention she charges people for this? Actual money for manual labor. They're both laughing, practicing their timing, getting the rhythm right so the joke lands perfectly when the investors are watching. Preston continues. The contrast is essential. Merrick's sophistication versus another calculated pause. Whatever Delilah is doing with her life. The words hang in the air. Clinical. Precise. She's our cautionary tale, Merrick says. Visual proof that the Miller family has standards. The Vanderbilts will appreciate it, Preston adds. They'll see we're not sentimental about failure. My hand finds the wall. I need something steady because the floor feels like it's tilting. This isn't about proving anything to me. It's not even really about me. I'm a prop. A before and after comparison. The photograph that makes Merrick look better by contrast. I catch my reflection in the hallway mirror. Same flannel shirt. Same work jeans. But the woman looking back is different than the one who walked in an hour ago. Something crystallizes. Sharp and clear and absolutely certain. I don't want their approval anymore. The realization doesn't come with anger. Not yet. Just cold, perfect understanding. I'm not their daughter tonight. I'm their visual aid. My hands are steady as I walk back to the hall. The bonsai sits on the table exactly where I left it. $8,000 of patient cultivation. 5 years of careful work. I lift it. 40 pounds of ceramic and soil and living wood. No one sees me walk through the service corridor. I push through the service entrance with my shoulder. A young caterer glances up. Miss Miller, is everything all right? My voice comes out level. The centerpiece won't work after all. She sees something in my expression, doesn't ask questions, just nods. I settle the bonsai carefully in the truck bed. The engine starts on the first try. Through the windshield, I can see the main hall windows. The display table sits empty now. Just a ring of water condensation where the tree stood. My phone buzzes. Genevieve's name lights up. I silence it. The tears come as I'm pulling onto Ocean Avenue. But underneath the tears, something else is forming. Something harder than grief. Colder than anger. I didn't just take back a tree. I took back myself. By 7:45, I'm pulling into Verdant Horizons. My commercial greenhouse glows amber in the dusk. 2 acres of glass and steel. 3 full-time employees. Last year's revenue, $847,000. Through the windshield, I see Hank and Sarah working late on the Pemberton Estate installation. They spot my truck. Both stop mid-task. Hank walks over first, concern creasing his weathered face. Boss, what happened? I try to answer. Nothing comes out. Sarah appears at the passenger window with a bottle of water. Doesn't ask permission. Just opens the door and hands it to me. They were going to use me, I say. In a slideshow. To mock me in front of investors. Hank's jaw tightens. Sarah's hand finds my shoulder. Come inside, Sarah says. We walk into the greenhouse. The air smells like peat moss and green growth. This is real. This is mine. I asked Silas to come, I say. If things went bad tonight. Good, Hank says. He kneels down and starts unlacing my boots, wiping the mud from the leather. Clean slate, boss. Or close enough. Preston never cleaned anything. Never knelt for anyone. Never showed care through action. The greenhouse door opens. Silas Thorne walks in, carrying his leather portfolio, still in his suit. He's my corporate attorney for 4 years now. Delilah, he says. Talk to me. So I do. The whole thing spills out. Genevieve's demand. The slideshow rehearsal. Preston and Merrick laughing about using my photo as a cautionary tale. Silas listens without interrupting. When I finish, he opens the portfolio and spreads documents across the workbench. Oakroot Holdings, LLC, he says. Sarah leans closer. What's Project Oakroot? 6 months ago, Silas explains, Preston's bank threatened foreclosure on the Miller estate. The property was leveraged beyond capacity. Delilah bought the distressed debt through a shell company I set up. Hank whistles low. You own their debt? $125,000 in unpaid back rent, I say. I'm their landlord. They never knew. You were saving them, Silas says quietly. I thought if I proved myself successful enough, I stop. The sentence doesn't need finishing. They were never going to see you, Delilah, Silas says. I've been telling you that for months. My phone buzzes. Genevieve. I answer and put it on speaker. Where's the tree? Her voice is shrill. Guests are asking questions. I took it home, Mother. Silence. Then the explosion. Insults pour out. Trash. Embarrassment. Failure. You've ruined everything, Genevieve spits. Don't bother coming back. She hangs up. Silas opens his laptop. I can email the eviction notice right now. I stare at the screen. 6 months of planning reduced to 1 mouse click. Then I shake my head. An email is too easy. They want to humiliate me publicly? My voice hardens. I need to look them in the eye when I take it all back. What do you need from us? Sarah asks. Silas is already thinking tactically. Process server? Can you arrange one? He smiles. I know exactly the right person. Sarah pulls out a black dress from the office closet. You left this here last month. I change right there in the greenhouse. The dress fits. Professional. Unremarkable. Then I strap my work boots back on underneath the hem. Process server will pose as a late arriving guest, Silas says. Eviction notice is prepared. Maximum impact, I say. By 8:40, I'm climbing back into the F-250. The dress feels strange over my work clothes. The boots feel right. My phone screen glows, Project Oakroot. Execute eviction. Through the commercial district, I can see the Miller estate on the hill. Preston and Genevieve are probably standing on that balcony right now, champagne glasses raised, convinced they've won. I was going to save you, I whisper. But then I heard what you said. My thumb hovers over send. I press it. Process server dispatched. ETA, 9:45 p.m. I'm not driving back as a victim. I'm driving back as a predator lying in wait. 9:20. I walk through the main entrance of the Miller Art Gallery for the first time in my life. The black dress schemes my knees. But underneath, with each step across the marble floor, my heavy work boots thud softly. Ancient and scarred amidst a sea of patent leather and silk. The room is packed. Investors in dark suits cluster near the bar. The Vanderbilts occupy the corner table. Newport's elite scattered throughout. Someone has placed a generic crystal vase filled with store-bought white roses where my bonsai should have been. It looks small, pathetic. The water ring from the massive bonsai pot is still faintly visible on the mahogany. Genevieve spots me first. Her face contorts through shock into pure rage, then smooths into a mask. She crosses the room in 4 seconds flat. How dare you show your face? I meet her eyes. I'm a Miller. This is a Miller event. Her hand clamps around my upper arm. You embarrassed us. That centerpiece cost us credibility. Did I? Or did you embarrass yourselves? Across the room, the Vanderbilt matriarch watches us. They all are now. Preston sees me. He goes still, then moves toward Merrick at the podium with quick, urgent steps. They whisper. Merrick glances at me, and his smile is all teeth. They aren't waiting for the keynote anymore. They're moving up the schedule. They want to punish me now. Merrick approaches the microphone. The room settles into expectant silence. Before we begin our formal remarks, he says, I'd like to share something with you all. The lights dim. The massive screen illuminates. Merrick's photograph appears first. Him in a tailored suit, accepting an architecture award. Polite applause ripples through the crowd. Then my photo replaces his. I'm covered in pond muck, kneeling in wet soil, laughing. My hair is plastered to my forehead. My hands are black with earth. The room ripples with uncomfortable laughter. Some of us build legacies, Merrick says, gesturing to his award photo. Others just dig holes. The laughter grows louder. Preston steps up. This is what happens when you reject education. I stand in the center of the room. The spotlight finds me. Every face turns toward me. This is the moment they've been building toward. Complete exposure. Total humiliation. I bow my head slowly. Let my shoulders slump. Let my hands clasp in front of me, fingers twisting together. To Preston, to Genevieve, to Merrick, I look exactly how they need me to look. Broken. Defeated. Remembering my place. Preston and Genevieve exchange glances. Triumph gleams in their eyes. They clink champagne glasses. She needed to remember her place, Preston whispers, just loud enough for me to hear. Maybe now she'll appreciate what real success looks like, Genevieve says. They're drunk on it. The perceived power. Their guard is completely down. Near the Vanderbilt table, an older woman frowns. Seems unnecessarily cruel. The Vanderbilt matriarch's face is stone. No smile. No approval. But Preston doesn't notice. He's too focused on my bowed head. I keep playing the part. Then I check my watch. 9:43. I lift my gaze slowly, scanning until I find Silas near the entrance. Our eyes meet. I give him the smallest nod. He steps aside from the doorway. A man in a dark suit enters, moving with purpose. He doesn't look around, doesn't hesitate. Just walks forward like he knows exactly where he's going. I let my expression settle. Let something cold and final move behind my eyes. Preston turns back to the podium, oblivious. Now, about our investment opportunity. The man in the dark suit keeps walking toward the stage. My boots stay planted on the marble floor. I don't move. The man walks down the center aisle. His trajectory is unmistakable. Preston stops mid-sentence, looks up, annoyed. He leans into the microphone. Excuse me, this is a private event. The server doesn't stop. Just keeps walking, steady as a metronome. Sir, you need to leave. The room goes quiet. Everyone turning to watch. The server reaches the stage steps. Climbs them one at a time. Preston's face flushes red. Get the hell off my stage, you peasant. Gasps ripple through the crowd. The Vanderbilts exchange glances. There it is, the desperation, the crack in the veneer. Do you know who I am? This is my gallery, my event. The server stops 3 feet from Preston. When he speaks, his voice is calm, professional. But the microphone picks it up. I know exactly who you are, Mr. Miller. He reaches into his jacket. Preston flinches. But what emerges is just a legal envelope. I am representing Oak Root Holdings. Preston's face shifts from anger to confusion. Oak Root, what? You are being served with an immediate eviction notice. The words hang in the air. For $125,000 in unpaid back rent. The number echoes. 6 figures. The kind of debt that destroys reputations. Behind Preston, my mud photo is still projected on the screen. But the context has shifted. Flipped completely. Because the mud girl holds their 6-figure debt. Preston's face drains of color. All that righteous anger bleeding away into fear. The Vanderbilts stand. Both of them, moving in sync. Then they walk toward the exit without a word. Other investors follow. I watch the social suicide happen in real time. This is a misunderstanding, Preston stammers. There's been some kind of mistake. Your lease is terminated effective immediately due to chronic non-payment, the server says. You have 48 hours to remove personal belongings. Genevieve's heels click on the floor. She's rushing toward the stage. Who owns Oak Root? I demand to know. Legal ownership transferred to Oak Root Holdings 6 months ago. All correspondence regarding the debt was sent to your attorney of record. Preston grabs for the papers, hands shaking. He stares at the documents like they're written in a foreign language. I start walking. Not rushing. Just steady steps toward the stage. The crowd parts for me. I reach the base of the stage. Stop. Look up. Preston's eyes meet mine. I watch the realization dawn across his face. You. His whisper barely carries. I don't apologize. Don't explain or justify. I just hold his gaze for 3 long seconds. Let him see everything he missed. Then I turn on my heel. The black dress swirls, and my battered work boots are visible for just a moment. The boots I wore on purpose. Silas falls in beside me as I walk toward the exit. At the door, I pause. Turn back to face the room. The investors are frozen. Preston is collapsed in a chair. Merrick looks lost. Genevieve's mouth is open, mid-scream. My voice carries across the silent room. Clear. Calm. Final. The lease was always clear. I let the silence stretch. I'm not your daughter right now. I'm your landlord. Then I walk out. Behind me, Genevieve's scream finally breaks free. I don't look back. 9 o'clock the next morning, Genevieve's Mercedes pulls up to Verdant Horizons. She's wearing flats, not Louboutins. Her makeup is smudged. She's wearing yesterday's dress. Hank intercepts her at the entrance. Boss isn't taking visitors. I need to speak with my daughter. Her voice cracks. I step into the doorway where she can see me. I'm repotting a Japanese maple that doesn't need my attention right now, but it gives me something to focus on. We need to talk, she says. We're family. I don't look up. Family doesn't humiliate family publicly. My shears make a clean snip. A small branch falls. Your father is devastated. Merrick won't speak to anyone. How can you do this to us? Another branch falls. We raised you better than this. That one almost gets me. Almost. I set down the shears, reach into my back pocket, and pull out a business card. I walk to the door and hand it to her. Bankruptcy attorney. Local. Good reputation. The lease was clear, Genevieve. I don't call her mother. 6 months of missed payments. We thought you'd understand. I'm not your daughter right now. I'm your landlord. And you're trespassing. She turns and leaves without another word. 3 months later, I'm standing on the balcony watching workers take down the Miller Art Gallery sign. The metal scrapes against brick, and I feel nothing. No satisfaction, no bitterness. Just the morning sun, warm on my shoulders, and the weight of my own building beneath my boots. Verdant Horizons headquarters. Sarah reads from the new sign as workers hoist it into place. Never thought we'd have offices with a view. Hank joins us with coffee. He passes me a cup without asking. Boss, the $8,000 bonsai looks perfect in the window. I glance back through the glass. The juniper sits in the main office, backlit by eastern sun. Every needle visible. 5 years of work. Finally displayed where it deserves to be seen. Silas arrives with his leather portfolio. Preston and Genevieve signed the settlement this morning. Merrick moved to Boston. No forwarding address. I nod. Take a sip of coffee. They're gone. And I'm still here. The office walls behind me hold photographs now. Completed landscapes. Happy clients standing in gardens I designed with my own hands. No family photos. The people who chose me. That's family enough. After everyone leaves, I stand alone on the balcony at sunset.